Hello, class and professor. Today, for my persuasive speech, I will be talking about whether being in quarantine has caused more racial crimes or not. I hope you guys enjoy it, and we're just going to jump right into it. Ever since Governor Cuomo set the quarantine in place, crime rates have gone down. However, racism has spiked. I believe this is true because there are always racist people. However, in 2020, there has been more racial crimes against African American people, Asian, Chinese, Korean, and Hispanic people by other races, and in extreme cases, even police officers show racial crimes. If you had to describe 2020 in one word, it would be disaster. This quarantine is doing more harm than good. Ever since the quarantine was set in place, the races that are mostly being targeted is African American, Hispanic, and Asian people. According to this website I found called BBC.com, it says in Chicago, as of early April 2020, 72% of people who died of the coronavirus were black. Some people may wonder why this happens. What is in African American humans that cause them to develop the virus faster? Well, again, in the same document, it says in the US, African Americans are more likely than white residents to have diabetes, heart disease, and hypertension, which weakens lungs and immune systems. And since African Americans are at a higher risk of developing these diseases, they have a higher chance of catching the coronavirus. Now, this causes people around them to act out in fear, which ultimately turns into racism. And I'm pretty sure many of you have seen, there are videos online that show Caucasian people breaking quarantine, and yet cops don't arrest them. Instead, in a video that I saw on Instagram a few weeks ago, you see a police officer giving Caucasian people water, sitting with them, and this all took place in Manhattan a few weeks ago. Yet last week, there's a video also on Instagram where there were cops beating up African American people on 183rd near Fordham, all because they stepped outside of their house for fresh air. Another diverse group of people that are getting death threats are Asian American and Pacific Islander, also known as AAPI people. They are the ones being affected by this whole situation the most. In an article I found called the ADL, it says these incidents include being told to go back to China, being blamed for bringing the virus to the United States, or being referred to with racial slurs, spat on, or physically assaulted. This all happens to Asians, Pacific Islanders. All of these hate crimes are happening because of the coronavirus. We have our own president that refers to the coronavirus as the Chinese virus. If that doesn't show racism at its finest in 2020, I don't know what does. And the reason people are acting with such racism is because of fear. People are allowing fear and politics to cloud their judgment, especially when it comes to different races and the virus. According to an article I found, The New Yorker, it says there have been many reports on people getting jumped or threatened because of their race. In the essay, it talks about one man who was attacked, a 23-year-old Singaporean named Mock. Mock says, the guy who tried to kick me then said, I don't want your coronavirus in my country. before swinging another sucker punch at me, which resulted in my face exploding with blood. Since everyone is so afraid about the virus, some people started losing their jobs all because of race. If you look nowadays, I guarantee you won't find not one Chinese restaurant open because they started losing money and customers, all because people are afraid that they're going to catch the virus simply by going into the store. Same thing with African Americans, since they're known to carry the virus more than Caucasian people. People try to stay clear from them because of fear. That's why you see all these police officers attacking all these African Americans for just stepping outside of their house, because they're so afraid that they're going to pass the virus, that fear clouds everybody's judgment, especially police officers who are supposed to be protecting people and not harming them. Another incident I found, which was also on the New Yorker, was Anne Nugent, a Vietnamese curator who was unable to do their job because of race and society's fears. In the article I found in the New Yorker, it says the gallerist asked Nugent not to come assist with the booth. He said the coronavirus is causing much anxiety everywhere, and fairly or not, Asians are being seen as carriers of the virus. The email read. That was the email that this person got from an employer. Because of their race, they were unable to go to work because of fear and stupidity. In conclusion, I do believe this quarantine has definitely caused more racism and crime, and I'm pretty sure everyone who has watched this has seen videos of such acts happening. I'm sure we all are aware of the amount of racial crimes that is happening because of this quarantine. Yes, the quarantine was put to protect us against the virus, but it does not protect us from the injustice that is happening to us simply because of the color of our skin. We are getting accused of carrying things we don't have. We are losing jobs because of this. And for what? For a lousy name, for Trump to call the coronavirus the Chinese virus. I hope I gave you guys some sort of insight on how cruel the justice system has been to races like Hispanics, African Americans, Asians, and I hope this has opened your eyes into seeing how this quarantine has caused more racial crimes. Thank you everybody for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.